Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So I'm just going to do a quick one here to run through some bits and bobs I've got for my birthday. So first up here is this lead in front of you. It's dwarves and hobbits or halflings from Warmonger Miniatures here. That's their details, and they've got some funny, crazy stuff on their website there. But it's all lead from my knowledge anyway, and it's kind of older style sculpts, or what would you call it? Is it old hammer? I think is the term. Like, it's not the super greatest detail, but they have a lot of character and there's some craziness. So you got like a dwarf chef there. This guy is really weirdly proportioned dwarf with a huge morning star, absolutely huge. And he's got all his gear, his tankard, and his little potions and everything there. So a lot of character. This guy was one of my favorites actually, just because his proportions are completely ridiculous, and he's so chunky. He's almost round. So this guy's great. I'll give him a big ginger beard, I think, and he's got some packages here and an extra axe, of course. So yeah, there's a lot of character in them and a nice crisp detail. See, this guy's kind of, I don't know, crazy berserker potentially, or a slayer. Kind of more realistic weapon sizes. But then that comes to Warhammer, because these are, well, realistic in the way of dwarves, like the top of the axes, the head of the axe isn't so crazy huge. Going on to the hobbits now, or the halflings, I'd probably call them. So you got pony. I think there's two sets here. There was adventurers and militia. And what I started doing, this guy's a militia guy. Let's see, he's got a stick with a knife on the end. I started taking them off their bases because I want to give them some nice little scenic bases, and put them all together. Because they've a lot of character as well. You'll see the details are quite exaggerated. And of course they have their pan and their little cup there as well. So he must be an adventurer. This guy, he lost a foot, but I'm going to fix it. That was my own fault for taking it off the base. But he's an adventurer as well. So they have a lot of character in their faces there. And they should be easy enough to paint because of how big the faces actually are. This guy also lost a foot, but that's fine. I think he's got a rabbit. He's an archer, so he's doing a bit of hunting. He's got a rabbit there on his waist. Another little guy, he's got a stone in his hand. Funny little haircut as well on him. So that's another adventurer. And this guy's, I think, my favourite. So he's a militia. He's got a pipe, he's got a pillow here, or a cushion, and one on his back. And two little, he's got a, a pot on his head. Pot lids on his knees there for armour. So he's awesome. That's really cool. That'd be a fantastic little, like, hobbit or halfling fighter or something like that. And he's another little adventure there with a, lantern and a spear. So he's quite cool, marching away. There's loads of them actually. This guy's got a sling and a few stones. He looks a bit sad as well. Poor guy. This guy's a little adventure as well. So all these could be PCs for sure. With a lick of paint, like, and you're kind of set because they have such character in their little faces. This guy's weapon broke as well. I bent it too much. So this is me not being used to using lead all the time. But I'll probably give him a different weapon. And he's giving kind of a salute there, so I might just give him a different weapon, be easier to keep. And this lady doing a little female one. Pretty big sword considering her scale. But yeah, they all have no shoes on, obviously, or no boots. Next up is this set here, Fireforge Games. Let me see, Fireforge Games. There you go, folk, rabble. It is pretty cool. I saw this online. It's multi-part plastic, hard plastic kit, and you get a load of bases with it. So you get circles and you get squares. 25 mil. Of course, I'm making a mess now. But you see, this is what you get in a sprue here. So there's 18 altogether, which is pretty good for about €20. And that's not including postage to where I am, but you're getting multiple different kind of bodies there. 1 second. Pop this back slightly. And you get, let's see how this camera works. No, that's not going to go for me, is it? Yeah, it's not going to go for me. I'll show you some of the examples anyway that I put together. So you get all sorts of weapons there, pitchforks, billy hooks, shovel, and they're great for like PCs, I think, for no NPCs. I mean, would make more sense, or very low level PCs potentially. You even have some ponytails here. So it's all work tools. You can make your own rabble here, your big mob, and you can kind of see the faces there. So you have some shouting faces, hooded, and you've got some women as well, some shouting, some with the hair, and hooded as well. So it's kind of a fine selection. You could use them if you're any bit like decent, I'd say, with plastic art and that. You could make you know, different tools and bits and bobs as well for any kind of shopkeep or anything you might need. So this is kind of the first few that I put together. This lady, I'm not sure what this would be, maybe for sowing seeds, I think. And I was thinking maybe of trying to sculpt the baby in here, but that's a possibility. But you see, yeah, the detail isn't amazing, but this stuff, they're pretty quick and easy, like, you know. You see the examples on the back of the box. Ooh, bear with me. Yeah, examples back in the box here. That's it, really. They're not crazy on the detail, but I think they'd be a fantastic base set of minis. Like, if you were to combine these with Mantic Zombies, you have Villager Zombies. You could, you know, sculpt onto these to make a lot of different things, like different mutations, and as well as, just like I said, if you give him an axe head, that could be an executioner, you know. So a lot of character just even in the little poses you can give them. Or this lady here, roaring and shouting. This is like your villagers rising up, and this is the, let's see now, I suppose scale wise, the barbarian actually doesn't even look that big compared to them for a barbarian, you know. And these, I'm pretty sure these are heroic scale because they're that little bit chunkier, but they do fit quite well. I've started mixing and matching parts with other little kits I've had between heads and all that, and they're 28 mil obviously, and they go quite well together. But that's them. That's all I got on miniature side, and then I got obviously here in the back. This is for basing. I think it was Squidmar miniatures. Excuse me. Said this is great for kind of natural looking basing and just different kind of textures because it's got little bits of root and everything going through it. So that's kind of, I'm going to experiment with that with my little fairy guys and my bush creatures or my hedge creatures. Got some more tufts here, just because you can never have too many of these, and they've nice, actually decent selection of size. I always end up cutting these up and using them smaller again because it seems to be more realistic, but I hadn't had kind of a darker green, so I went with that. Then a few last little bits that I actually been meaning to get forever is a vice. This is especially good for working on Hot Wheels and things like that for Gaslands, to hold the cars when you're drilling them and all, because it's quite dangerous to hold it in your hand. But that's what I've been doing for way too long, so that'll be good to use. That's actually just the material from the coconut, what's it called? Cocoa Grow kind of brick there. So you can see it's all nice and different sizes. And yeah, a lot of people won't find that exciting at all, but I think I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. These washers are just, I've been meaning to get them because they're so useful for little bases, and there's multiple different sizes of them, as well as weighing down bases that might be a little bit dynamic. And I think last up is this set of, oh, of course I got a few paintbrushes. I think I got about 6 different paintbrushes. The one I mainly went for was Hobby Highlighting, just because it seems to be a decent size that I use for nearly everything. I put base coat on with a bigger brush and then just go in with that, and that's basically it. These are something I was looking at for a while, just for different monsters. Now, many of them are very, very big and won't suit anything. Potentially a beholder, instead of having to paint an eye, which I don't think I'd be great at. But this would be a great stand-in, I think, and it's, you know, convex. Pretty sure that's convex. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, you know, you can get all little tiny ones, which could be useful for multiple different creatures, and I'll use them. They're just there, just in case I need them. And there is, I keep seeing it, look, that's full on, just a printout of Eye of Sauron, for sure. It's got to be. So yeah, that's it, guys, right? I've made a mess, but I would say check out Warmonger Games, miniatures even, and check out some of their craziness. It is all lead, and like I said, you're going to come up with issues like this, that they could break off. But look, that's what you're going to get for that price, as well as the detail there. But yeah, guys, that's it. I'll come back at you then with maybe some work in progresses, or I suppose just when I feel like it. All right, guys, good luck.